Tony casually tossed a clump of instant noodle residue, and it created 5 large holes in the bulletproof door of the van. Then, he threw a seasoning packet, which instantly killed the top bodyguard. Yet the black-clad assassins still didn't understand what was happening, and charged at Tony, but were all kicked away by him, flying 100 meters. Soon, another assassin tried to rush at him, but Tony, quick on his feet, used the mineral water in his hand, and heated it to 100 degrees with his energy. Without hesitation, he threw it at the assassin. After watching Tony take out all the black-clad killers, the female CEO finally realized how powerful the $300 a month bodyguard she hired truly was. Little did she know, Tony's entire family were cultivators who had crossed over from the world of immortals, and he had reached the highest level at a young age. One day, the United States learned that an enemy country had launched 3,000 nuclear missiles. The Air Defense Director reported with guilt that with so many missiles coming, their capabilities were simply not enough to intercept them. But the leader, the target of the attack, remained calm. He waved his hand and cast a spell, instantly putting all the senior officials to sleep. Then, he called Tony, who was at home. Upon receiving the notification, Tony saw the countless nuclear missiles approaching. He immediately summoned his great sword, and in the blink of an eye, flew into the sky. The military officials, witnessing this, were still worried, because the power of 3,000 nuclear missiles was terrifying, and even the aftereffects of the explosions could flatten an entire country. But Tony remained calm, and threw out a protective shield, perfectly shielding the entire country. However, when he was about to swing his sword to destroy the missiles, he had the pillow around his neck transform into a golden dragon, which swallowed all the missiles. Then, he casually flicked the missiles away, sending them to the enemy country, resulting in the entire country being obliterated. When Tony returned home, his mother didn't want him to rest anymore, and sent him to protect the female CEO. The next day, as Tony accompanied the female CEO out, they were suddenly ambushed by a group of mysterious people. When the CEO saw the enemies approaching with force, she panicked, but Tony, with ease, took out a packet of instant noodles, and tossed it out. Then the scene unfolded as before. He easily defeated all the assassins. After this terrifying encounter, the female CEO's attitude toward Tony immediately changed. She decided to have Tony pretend to be her boyfriend, to handle a blind date arranged by her family. Tony thought for a moment, and with a mischievous smile, agreed. But just as the female CEO turned to leave, Tony suddenly grabbed her, and pushed her onto the sofa. The female CEO, seeing this, nervously asked what he wanted to do. But Tony, with a sly grin, replied, "Since we're boyfriend and girlfriend now, we should get familiar with the process." Before she could react, he was quickly pushed away by her. The next day, the female CEO took Tony home. But when her parents found out he was just a bodyguard, they gave him a look of disdain. Even during dinner, just as Tony was about to take a bite of food, the female CEO's father immediately told him to leave. However, just as Tony was about to leave, a group of assassins